Hello and welcome to another episode of Cry Baby. You're here again with your boy Ray. That's me. Hi everyone. Apologies for the red face. It's nothing racist, I promise. I've just been out spending too much time in the sun today, and I now realise what an absolute bell end I look. Wear sunscreen. If you're out in the sun, wear some sunscreen. That is my tip for the day. And let's get straight into it, shall we? Let's get into the news. Big news for Joe Rogan. The godfather of podcasting, the absolute pinnacle, everything I aspire to be and I will never be. He has just signed an exclusive licensing deal with Spotify.
Hello, everybody. I have an announcement. The podcast is moving to Spotify.
Joe Rogan is moving away from YouTube. He's moving away from iTunes, and he's going to be exclusively signed with Spotify on a multi-year contract. As of the 1st of September, the whole JRE library, the whole back catalogue will be moving to the Spotify platform, and then later in the year, that's when the video version of the podcast will be moving there also. He has confirmed that he will not be working for Spotify.
I'm not going to be an employee of Spotify.
They will let him keep all creative license in terms of how the show is run, what he discusses, who he has on the podcast.
It will be the exact same show.
This is massive news for Joe Rogan. I mean, of course it was going to be Joe Rogan who got this deal. He is the granddaddy, the Italian-American stallion of the podcast game. He is the top of the heap. He's what everyone aspires to be. And apparently this deal is worth an estimated $100 million. If any other music artist were to make that amount of money from Spotify, they would have to generate 26 billion streams in order to make that same amount of cash. Last year alone, in 2019, he was getting 190 million downloads each month. 190 million. In terms of YouTube and the visual aspect of the podcast, you're moving away from one of the biggest platforms. I don't think that's going to stop anyone from moving with him. And it's kind of a big fuck you to YouTube, really. And I was kind of pondering whether it was due to the fact that he's seeing other people being censored, like one of his mates, Alex Jones, how his YouTube channel was just shut down due to some of the controversial conspiracy theories that Alex Jones was coming out with at the time.
Laughing right back at these psychopathic bastards and telling them that we know exactly who they are and exactly what they're doing.
The same recently with David Icke, the lizard guy. Again, another conspiracist. And I'm not putting Joe Rogan in the same category as these guys, because he's not. He doesn't belong in that same category, but maybe that was potentially one of the reasons why he's decided to move over to a platform that's going to essentially guarantee him safety. They've paid for the license for the podcast, which means they're not going to shut him down. They're not going to censor him. They've agreed to let him carry on talking about what he wants to talk about. So I guess it's that safety aspect that there's no chance of him getting censored. Not that I think there was with YouTube, but maybe it was due to the copyright strikes. You can't mention certain things on YouTube now without getting demonetized. So it guarantees them revenue for the number of years that they've signed this deal for. And I'm excited. This is unlike any other deal any other podcaster will ever get in their life. And it's going to change the game a little bit, I think, especially if it's moving away from iTunes as well. It's going to be a big game changer. People will go wherever he goes now. He's reached that level, that height of success. The market for podcasts is consistently growing, and it's exciting to see where this goes now. Moving on, It's Tekashi 6ix9ine. Surprise, a fucking prize. This cunt's gonna be the death of me. He's just a news generator. I'm not even mad. He gives me something to talk about. There's been ongoing feuds between rappers and Tekashi 6ix9ine, mainly due to the snitching and as well as the pretty shoddy music he puts out. One of the biggest feuds to arise is between Snoop Dogg and Tekashi. Earlier this week, Tekashi released a video showing Snoop Dogg or someone who looks like Snoop Dogg in a video. This video was given to 6ix9ine by Selena Powell. Selena Powell is essentially a cum dumpster for rap stars. She's a clout chaser. She essentially fucks rappers and then she goes and talks about it. So last year, back in December 2019, this Selena Powell made it pretty public that she'd been sleeping with Snoop Dogg. She made a video mentioning how on 2 occasions they met up. On the first occasion, Snoop fucked her without any protection. He slept with her without any rubbers, doing it the Snoop Doggy Dogg way.
We had sex. Mind you, there was no condoms, no nothing.
And how he was sniffing coke off her tits and off her vagina.
And he busted down a line of cocaine on my titty and snorted it. Like, he was doing lines of coke off it everywhere, even, you know.
Lines off her crack off the crack, lines on her back. At the time, Snoop Dogg's wife put up a few posts alluding to the fact that he'd potentially cheated on her. But Tekashi posted a video which allegedly showed Snoop Dogg, or a man that looked like Snoop Dogg, I don't know, collecting his shit as he was about to leave. And then it cuts to another video of a mobile phone with Snoop Dogg being FaceTimed by some female organising some sort of rendezvous.
Or do you think I'm not ready no way, so I hit you when I am ready?
When will you be ready?
I'm out.
And you're gonna see me?
I figured out I'm being Hollywood. I hit you when I am.
This is just keeping Tekashi in the limelight. He knows what he's doing in terms of marketing himself. But not only this thing with Snoop Dogg, he is now accusing Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber, their new song Stuck With You, because Billboard has officially announced that they were #1 on the Hot 100. Tekashi came out with a video calling out Billboard because Billboard have been manipulating their figures because for whatever reason they don't want Tekashi to be #1.
I want the world to know that Billboard is a lie. You can buy #1s on Billboard. I want that to register in your head.
Tekashi released a video where it looked like he'd been rifling through his granny's underwear drawer. He was wearing some pink knickers on his fucking head. But he was showing the figures, the streams that Goober had got.
Goober streamed 50 million streams. And this is what they're counting only. 50 million streams, right? They only counted, look what Billboard counts. They only counted 31 million.
It got 50 million views. Ariana Grande's song was around the 30 million mark. Billboard had supposedly or had allegedly disqualified 20 million of Tekashi's streams.
Billboard illegally disqualified 20 million streams?
Ariana's record label had out of nowhere submitted 60,000 units, which essentially put her song at #1. Tekashi and his team apparently did some investigating. I don't know what this investigating entailed, but they did some investigating and basically said half of these units were paid for with 6 credit cards.
They bought 30,000 and so units with 6 credit cards. 6 credit cards.
Which, if true, does spark a little bit of a question mark. But Tekashi's called them out for it now. Ariana Grande hit back, saying that it was our fans that bought those units, and we're at #1, so fuck you. So Tekashi was quite rightly pissed off. I mean, the amount of numbers that Goob has done, and just in terms of views on YouTube, you would think it would be number one. As much as I would hate to admit it, you would think he was right. I'm siding with the guy now. I've talked about this cunt so much. I'm feeling sorry for the guy. Maybe he's got a point. By Billboard doing this, it is saying a big fuck you to all those people who have worked from the bottom and they just want this picture perfect white girl on top of the charts. That's the image they want to sell. And they don't want to sell the image of this snitching gangster rapper child molester. Alright guys, well that's it for another episode of A Karababe. Tune in again next time. Please, please. I don't want to sound too beggy, but please. I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.